This podcast is brought to you by Salt River Pictures.
Hi, Lloyd. A little slow tonight, isn't it?
Hello there.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Stay on target.
Dylan! Son of a bitch.
Welcome to the Salt River Movie Club.
I would like to start today's episode with a haiku that I have written. Where are you, Mike Arm? Ordered from Amazon Prime. Come home to me now. Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the Salt River Movie Club. The podcast that now apparently opens with haikus. This is the Salt River Movie Club. We are 3 members of the band Salt River Shakedown. We do blues rock, classic rock, that kind of thing. I am legitimately waiting on a new mic arm that is arriving today. By the way. I've got my mic just propped on my table for the last 5 episodes, but yeah, that's fine. Yes, we are 3 members of the band Salt River Shakedown. We do blues rock, classic rock. But this podcast is not about that band. This podcast is about movies that we like and movies that we do not like. Today, I am joined by guitarist extraordinaire wearing another plaid shirt of a different color this time, a much more plain one.
Much more plain. This is going to be a recurring theme. I'm going to specifically buy plaid shirts just so you 3 can see it. You 2, 3. I will see it as well. Yeah.
Excellent. Yes, it is Alec McMillan over there in
me.
grey plaid.
It is me.
How the fuck are you?
I'm good. I'm definitely a bit scarred from the last episode. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I went to bed, I just looked up in the corner, like, okay, good.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same.
I did. My dad the other day, he did like a kind of like I looked up and he was like posing and he was smiling and I was like, oh no, he looked like the guy from the thing,
Oh
like
no,
the smiling
Mr.
man
Smiley
at the end.
Body.
I was
Smiley funeral man. No.
yep, it was terrifying. But other than being scarred, I'm good.
Excellent. And over here we have Sean again. Just that this is apparently going to be our thing. He's wearing a movie reference t-shirt. Explain your t-shirt, Sean.
So I don't know if you've heard of this wee indie movie called Bill and Ted. They apparently go on some sort of excellent adventure. It's actually kind of cool. I'm wearing a Wild Stallion shirt.
Yes. A movie that I have not seen. Neither is Alec, if I'm correct in saying. And we will probably do it at some point, but I get the impression that it's not going to be my thing. So I'm reluctant, but we will do it at some point.
Yeah.
But yes, bassist extraordinaire Sean Kilner. How are you?
Hello. I'm all right. How are you both? I always ask Jay. I never ask Alec. How are you both?
I am good. I
mean, to be fair, he's just told me how he is. So
I know.
I
I don't care. Are you all right?
I'm all right, Sean. How are you, Sean? Let's not talk to Jake. Me and you are having a convo.
I'm all right.
I'm over here now.
It's been a good couple of days.
It's been no bad.
Be in my trailer.
Being my trailer. God damn it. Okay. Yeah. Life is good.
No, I'm glad you're both good. I'm also good. Apparently, no one cares. But
No, I don't care. Sorry.
Who gives a fuck?
People of the podcast may not know, Jake has just gotten a wee doggo.
He does it. Yeah.
I have gone a wee doggo. Yeah.
How is doggo?
Yeah, wee gala. Not like the bingo. Yeah, no, she's good. She's good. She's what is she now? Like 12 weeks old, something like that. And she's been to the vet for her wee jabs so she can go out on a walk.
Yes.
Yeah, can finally take her out on a walk tomorrow.
Nice. Hey.
Which is good. Because she's going a little star crazy, I think, being trapped in here. But,
yeah, totally.
Yeah. But no, she's good. Yeah, she's got a wee personality. She's
It's amazing seeing their personality develop. It's hilarious.
Yeah. She likes to bite. That's the only thing right now. But
Jumpy.
A bit bitey.
Yeah, but that's normal for a dog her age.
Yeah.
No, she's good.
That is good.
But yes, hello and welcome. If you're unaware, if you have not already switched off for the first 5 minutes of us waffling on endlessly, this podcast is, as the name suggests, a movie club. Every episode we watch a movie the three of us. And you are encouraged to also watch that movie. We will let you know in advance what the movie is. And yes, and you're meant to watch at some point, or unless you've already seen the movie, in which case just listen along. It's not as complicated as I'm making it sound. It's actually a very simple concept. But yes, anyway. Today we're watching Pixar's Onward. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So thank you if you have been listening so far. Our last episode, as Alec mentioned earlier, was to Ari Aster's Hereditary. Which I think traumatized us all a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just got those images in my head of somebody lobbing their own nut off is a bit terrifying.
Yeah.
Whoever the sound designer was for that section, kudos, because I've just got it stuck in my head.
Oh yeah, the squelching. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That is the UK use of the word nut, by the way.
Yeah.
Like not the other thing.
Not the other thing.
Means your head.
Your head, yes. But yes, thank you if you tuned in for that episode. You let us know what you thought of Hereditary. But let's start with what we always do. What have we been watching? Yay! Maybe we'll get a jingle for that at some point. But,
what have we been watching? Jake, what have you been watching? Let's start.
We're starting with me.
Yeah, I'm turning it around on you.
Oh, you are the captain now. What I've been watching? I've been watching a lot of Star Trek, actually.
Star Trek.
Interesting.
Because as well as watching through all of Star Wars media ever, I'm also watching through all of Star Trek because I am a crazy person. I recently finished the original series, which was awesome. Jack Shatner is a god. He might be the worst actor in the world, but he's a god. But no, we recently finished that, and now I am watching the Star Trek animated series from the early 70s, which is actually loads of fun. I was expecting it to be a bit shit, but it's actually great fun because it's got all the same cast.
Yeah.
Other than the guy who plays Chekhov, who they didn't bring back for budget reasons. Apparently.
Oh god,
which is a bit sad. But no, I'm enjoying that. I've been continuing watching through the Harry Potter movies as well.
Nice. What are you on now?
We just watched Half-Blood Prince, which I was talking to you guys about this the other day. Is a hell of a lot better than I remember it being.
That's the movie that when I went to rewatch the Harry Potter movies, I was like, I don't remember a lot of this. Like it kind of that movie never really stuck with me like some of the others did. Like,
well, yeah. The thing with that is that I think Half-Blood Prince is the worst book, and I've not read them in a long time.
Yeah.
But if I remember right, that one's the worst book because she goes back to the structure of the first few, where it's kind of more about the classes in the school and things like that, to give you a bit of a sort of like, here's fun before we head into horror for the last book.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's like 3 times as long as the first book, so it's actually really boring, that book, like for a really long time, and then the last 5 chapters are great. But it makes a much better movie because they just condense it to the most interesting parts.
Yeah,
and it's just it's really good.
It's got some good kind of like Harry Potter moments with like the Felix Felicis and all that. That's in that one, isn't it? Where he gets the luck thing and he acts a bit cocky and all that. It's like you've not seen that kind of side of him.
This is the place to be right now.
I just think Hagrid's hut is just where I need to be.
It's good fun.
Props to Daniel Radcliffe. He's brilliant.
He is great.
Plus, by this point, they're all become quite good actors, and it's good fun.
I'm glad that wee Daniel didn't spiral as a child actor, and he's done good. I'm happy about that.
He's a good lad. He's a good boy, that Daniel.
Yeah, good old Daniel. If you want to be on the show, Daniel, just get in touch.
Good on you, sir.
So rivermovieclub@gmail.com. Just let us know.
What if it does actually listen to these podcasts?
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. I'm not joking. Come on the show. It'd be good fun.
If one day this podcast gets big enough, we're going to have special guests. We're going to be those
absolutely, yeah. And last thing I'll mention, I've been watching, been talking for too long now, but I watched The Devil All the Time last night on Alex's recommendation. And it's fucking brilliant.
That is great, isn't it?
Really, really good. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Just good kind of Tarantino vibes with a lot of Stephen King in there.
Definitely,
as well. Yeah. No, I really loved it. Tom Holland is excellent.
How good is Pattinson's accent? It's so weird, isn't it?
Pattinson has been doing another crazy accent. This seems to be his thing now. It's just very specific accents. He's good. He's not in it for as much as I was expecting him to be, but he's good.
No.
Yeah, he's very good. As is Jason Clarke. I love him and everything he's in. But yes, that is what I've been watching. Alec, what have you been watching?
I've not been watching that much, to be honest. I've kind of been busy doing other studio stuff, so I've not had the time. But I do have one recommendation. If you want a laugh, I would look up Corey Wong and the Wong Notes on YouTube.
It's so funny.
He's basically just started. So Corey Wong is this like funk rhythm guitarist for the band Wolfpack, and he's just basically started his own like it's a podcast. But it's not really. It's more like
it's like a talk show type thing.
It's like a fake, like 70s style talk show, like satirical, where he's just taking, like it looks like it's serious, but it's totally not. And it's like the budget is insane. Like it looks like a proper TV show, and they've got
It's
like a
really
70s
funny.
set with a huge funk band, and it's honestly hilarious.
It's
So
funny.
that is my recommendation for anyone to watch. So good.
Cool. Is that all you've been watching?
That's
is that
all.
It? Or
That's all. That's all.
You read anything recently?
No,
Cool.
no.
Cool. Just any the back of a jam jar or anything? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Sean,
Shampoo bottle.
John, what have you been watching?
So this is a really weird week for me because at the start of the week I watched fucking nothing,
Yeah.
and then the
Oh,
last
okay.
2 days I've watched everything.
Everything.
I rewatched.
All things.
I rewatched Back to the Future, all three of them, one straight after another.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Because oh my god, those movies are so good.
Oh yeah.
What else have I watched?
First Back to the Future is a perfect movie. Like there's
It's a perfect trilogy.
well, yes. First one's the best one.
No, the second one's the best one.
Oh, let's not get into that.
Let me crack my knuckles on. Other things I've been watching, I watched this week was the Resident Evil showcase for all the new stuff that's coming out. The two Netflix series have been announced, but they don't have release dates. They are, I think, if I remember rightly, it was the end of May. It was when the first episodes were meant to come out. It's like 2 episodic series. There was a trailer for Village, which everyone is now very infatuated with the big vampire lady, and I don't
The
get
really
it.
tall vampire lady.
I don't get it. It's so strange. There was a playable demo for the PS5 out as well. Jake, you'll need to let me know how that is.
Yeah, I've not played it yet, but I'll get on that at some point.
It looks amazing. What else? I got a jazz bass.
That's what you've been watching.
I've
your
been
bass.
watching my bass for the last day and a half.
Nice.
And then I think that was it, actually. Oh no! Last night I watched the Man in the Iron Mask, which is a classic film.
Interesting. Yeah.
I remember watching it when I was younger.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Alec?
I completely forgot. I did watch Uno movie. One movie.
You watched the Uno movie?
No,
The Uno movie?
No, I watched a movie called Midnight in Paris.
Oh,
just-
that
Oh
sounds like
god.
I
Right, okay.
So it's like, I watched it. I was like bored like one night, and I was just like scrolling through Netflix, and I was like, you know what? I'll watch this movie. It's Woody Allen directing it. It can't be that bad. And it's Owen Wilson stars as this kind of young, kind of writer that's basically he's been kind of stuck in Hollywood, kind of writing big Hollywood scripts that he's not really that proud of. And he in his head romanticizes about living in Paris and wanting to kind of like write a novel, basically. So him and his like bitchy ass girlfriend are in like Paris, and she's like having an affair with this other guy, but he totally doesn't know it. He's like completely whipped. And
Oh my God.
every night he romanticizes about living in the 1920s in Paris, basically,
Right.
and just like a simpler time and stuff. And he's cutting
All
about.
right.
Walking. There's a lot of what you call Owen Wilson walking alone in this movie, just walking. And so he's cutting about
Okay.
Paris at midnight, and then the bells go to strike midnight, and then he's transported to the 1920s.
Okay.
So every night at midnight, he goes on these excursions with all these like famous like writers and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It is really. It's a bit dull. It's okay, but it's not the worst movie and it's not the best movie. Do you know what I mean? It's
all right.
it's
Yeah.
just a bit. It's got like Hemingway and do you know what I mean? All these
Right,
like
okay,
famous writers and stuff that they like
I
give
was-
him advice and stuff, and it's just a bit. He's Owen Wilson just doesn't make a really convincing guy. He's too like yeah.
It doesn't.
really convincing guy. He's not a very convincing human.
He's not. He's just.
Some form of alien.
He doesn't add any like drama to anything or any like. He's just like so nonchalant. He's just like, yeah, I'm in the 1920s now. Cool. Blah, blah, blah. Like, do you know what I
Cool.
mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's always Owen Wilson.
He's just always Owen Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
During your entire speech spiel about that, I was trying to judge from your tone how you felt about that movie.
Same, yeah, I was like-
it's a bit dull.
I mean, judging by the fact that you've only just remembered you've watched it, I think it's
Exactly.
probably a bad movie.
Exactly.
It's only been a week.
Yes, totally.
Right, I love it when that happens. Like, you watch a movie and a week later you go, oh yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling.
Dude, it wasn't even a week. It was like 48 hours ago, man. That's,
I know, but
that's already forgot its existence in the universe. Like,
Oh god, no.
Fair enough.
what'd you call it? Tom Hiddleston, isn't it? Funnily enough.
Oh,
Oh, I like him.
Yeah,
he's alright. I suppose.
Yeah, he's good at. He's better than Owen Wilson in it. So apparently he didn't. Like I was looking some facts about it, and he didn't. When he was shooting that movie, he didn't realize that it wasn't like a complete period piece. So when Owen Wilson turned up to set wearing just like normal clothes, and he was because he plays one of the dudes in the 1920s, and he was like, "Why are you not in like?" Normal clothes. He was like, he was like shooting scenes with Owen Wilson. He's wearing like full on like 1920s black suit, mustache, and all that. And Owen Wilson's in like just like a t-shirt and jeans. And he's
Holy shit.
like, dude, what's going on here? Like,
Apparently, I did not read the entire script.
well, that's
only
the
read
thing.
my lines.
Woody Allen only sends the actors their lines, so that's the problem.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
makes more sense.
that's the way he works.
I see.
That's a bizarre way of working, but fair enough.
Yeah,
Cool. Okay, that is what we've been watching. That
Yep.
was a mixed bag.
I know. It's so random. Sean talking about Resident Evil, and I'm like, hey, I watched Midnight in Paris.
And then you've got the resident nerd watching Star Trek.
Yeah. Start. Yeah. Cool. So that's what we've been watching. Let us move on now
Yes.
to what we are going to watch today. It's a good little segue there. Hope you like that.
Enjoyed
I
that.
Today-
suppose.
Today we are watching Pixar's Onward. Again, this is the point in time where if you have not watched the movie yet and you care about spoilers, pause the podcast right now and make headway towards your nearest TV with access to Disney Plus or a computer or even your phone, I suppose. I mean, I don't recommend watching a movie on your phone. It's always a bad idea in
Yeah.
my mind, but
Yeah.
that is an option that is available to you, I suppose. It's on Disney Plus. It is a Pixar movie. It was released in 2020. Directed by Dan Scanlon and written by three people: Dan Scanlon, Keith Bunin, and Jason Headley. Stars Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Octavia Spencer. Score by Jeff Dana and Michael Dana, brothers, I'm assuming.
That's good.
Or lovers.
Yeah. Or possibly lovers. That's Look how quickly your mind went. Yeah, that's very possible.
I'm sorry.
Yes. I have not seen this movie. Alec has seen this movie twice.
Seen
I
it
wanna
twice.
say.
I'm ready
That's
to go
right,
3
yeah.
times. Here we go.
Oh god.
Alec seems to be the person that really advocates for this movie because it got kind of a mixed reaction when it came out. So I'm interested to see.
I love it. I don't know if I like it enough to watch it 3 times. This might be
the one that breaks you.
this might be the one. Like, no, I do love it though. I think if I watching it, this is going to be my last time watching it for a
Okay,
good while.
Cool.
I mean,
Closing the book.
the only thing I've
Closing
ever
that
seen
book.
of this movie is the end, like the last 2 minutes.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
That's all I've seen of this film. So
It is great.
It
It is
looks
great.
fun.
It's
Cool, okay.
It's Pixar. You know what to expect.
Yeah,
Pixelated
I'm
Pixar.
looking forward to seeing it. As I was saying last week, I watched Soul recently, and that was good fun as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
That movie for me is a movie you can struggle to watch it again.
Yeah.
Soul.
Yeah.
Struggle. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's amazing, but I think it won't have the same impact again, and it is so mental
Yeah.
that it's like it would be hard to watch again.
Yeah, totally. No, I want to watch it one more time.
Yeah.
like a Tenet rewatch, just to
Yeah,
try and understand what the fuck's going on in that movie.
Yeah, it's
But-
so mental. Like, it's amazing and I absolutely love it, but it's just like so crazy that I don't know if I can go on that. Like,
yeah.
That's fair.
it's great.
no, fair
It's great.
And Sean, yeah, no, you've only seen the last 2 minutes apparently. How has
See-
that happened?
See, when you work in a cinema, a lot of end credits get spoiled for you.
Yeah.
Of course, because this was in the cinema really briefly right before lockdown, right?
It was in the middle of the two, yeah. Middle of the first two. Because I remember
Right.
coming out when we came out the first lockdown, we went back to work. And that was the first film out that was new, because we showed all the old films for a wee while.
Yeah.
That was the first new film. It got so much attention.
Yeah,
But
totally.
as you say, like mixed reactions from people coming out of the film, it was really weird. It was like, oh, okay, it's a Pixar movie that's getting a mixed reaction, so I was a bit nervous to watch it, if I'm honest.
Yep. Cool. Well, let's get into it then. Again, this is your last chance. Pause the podcast. Go watch the movie if you haven't seen it.
now.
Yes, we're getting into full spoilers after the break. Yeah, shall we?
Yes,
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay.
Onward to onward.
Onward.
Onward!
Onward to onward.
Onward to our quest!
Right, see you in a bit.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder and magic. But times change.
I'm a mighty warrior.
Morning, Mom.
Hey, birthday boy.
By the laws of yore, I must dub thee a man today. Kneel before me.
That's okay.
I have a gift from your dad. He just said to give you this when you were both over 16.
No way! It's a wizard staff. Dad was a wizard.
What? Your dad was an accountant.
This spell brings him back. For one whole day, Dad will be back.
What? Back to life? That's not possible.
It is with this.
I'm gonna meet Dad.
Whoa, feet!
It's getting harder to hold.
Ah, he's just legs. I definitely remember Dad having a top part.
Oh, what did I do?
Shantar's Talon is cold as fucking balls in this room. Hello, welcome back. We have just watched Pixar's Onward.
Yeah.
We've had a good time. We've watched Onward. I hope you've now watched Onward. This is, again, your final warning. We're now getting to full spoilers.
Full spoilers?
Yes. Now, first of all, how do we feel about this movie? Sean, on your first viewing.
I
How'd you feel?
absolutely loved it.
Excellent.
It has that kind of, I love the medieval vibe of it, like sort of meshed together with modernism. And the story is so cute and so like heartwarming. I can guarantee you all three of us had at least a single tear in our eye at the minimum.
Dude, this is my third viewing and I was fucking bawling at the end of it.
Same. I was having a wee
Balling,
moment there. I was like, oh no.
Well, that was my next question is, on a third viewing, how well does it hold up for you, Alec?
Great, to be honest. Better than I thought it would. Better than I thought it would. I was kind of going into it going, right, going to see this again. But it was like, I was still watching it with like, and I was just picking, like when you see a movie over and over again, you start picking up on new things because it's like fast cuts and stuff that you don't normally see.
Yeah.
So I was kind of picking up on the kind of extra stuff that you guys might have not picked up on.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's like wee scenes and stuff.
Yes.
What about yourself?
I liked it.
Here we go. Here we go. The skeptic. Here we go.
comes the
I know. I really, really liked it, actually. I didn't love it, if I'm honest.
Interesting.
I had a lot of fun with it. I didn't get that emotional, if I'm honest. Like I did not have a tear in my eye. I like it felt at times like it was trying a little too hard to pull at the heartstrings. When I know Pixar movies can do that really well, and I was like, I feel like you're better than this, and I had a lot of fun with it as an adventure. That element of it didn't get me as much as other Pixar movies. It did go me a bit, but like, no, I'm not like, I am a cold, heartless husk of a man, but you're not wrong. But it just, it didn't like in the way that Soul kind of grabbed me.
Yeah.
I didn't quite have that from it. But not to say that I didn't like it. I really, really, really liked it. It was not like a top 5 Pixar movie for me.
So
on first view.
That's fair.
The difference between this and Soul, and I guess it's quite good comparing them because they're like came out one consecutive after the other. I think like Soul for me, I didn't tear up at Soul. It wasn't the type of movie that made me cry, but it did make me go, right, I like live in the moment, want to, you know what I mean? It kind of makes you feel that way rather than it almost like inspires you more than it does just try and pull at the heartstrings type of thing. For me anyway, like this one was more your normal kind of Pixar thing.
I get what
for
you
me.
mean. But yeah, I get what you mean. The heartstring thing, like Pixar does that incredibly well. Like the movie that always gets me that Pixar did was Coco. So I'm kind of comparing that kind of moment to Coco. And I don't know how to describe it. I felt really happy at the end because he sort of like sacrificed his kind of wants for his brother's kind of needs. Yeah. And I thought that's what made me cry more than anything else in the film, is the fact that he gave up what he wanted for his brother who needed it.
Yeah. I like that. No, I will admit, like the last section of it got me a bit more. But it took a while for me to get to that point. Yeah. And it's not even like, it's not like I didn't like particularly tear up at Soul either, but Soul just kind of invested me more emotionally. But yeah, no, I'm being nitpicky. I did really genuinely like it. Yeah,
you're being that guy. There's got to be one.
I am being that guy.
There's always one that goes,
I mean, come on. It's tough when you're comparing Pixar movies to other Pixar movies because that's its own standard upon itself. Like if you were to compare this movie with kind of any other animated movie, it would be way above. Do you know what I mean? It's because it's comparing it to Pixar. Do you know what I mean? Like big release animated movies.
Yeah.
Like I mean, what other like company releases big animated movies that like could like adults can watch it and tear up? Do you know what I mean? Like
that is true.
Yeah. No, I agree. They are masters of what they do, definitely.
Yeah.
So quick run through of the plot then.
Yeah.
We'll kind of run through start to finish if you want to jump in at any point.
Yeah, cool.
This is the story of, I did not get the main two characters' names, I'll be honest. What were they called again?
Ian and
Barley?
Ian and Barley, yeah.
Ian and Barley, okay, cool.
We just watched this movie and I can't remember any of the characters.
So Jake, do you not relate to the main protagonist since he has the same name as yourself?
Fuck off.
For people that don't know, we were speaking to Jake in the group chat one time, and I was speaking to him and it auto corrected his name to Ian, and now he's just Ian forever.
Yep. Thank you for sharing that with our audience. I was hoping that would stick.
It's stuck now, Ian. Deal with it.
Right, come on. Tell us your story.
Plot
Right, yeah. Ian and Barley, who are elves, right? They're elves.
They're elves. There are no humans in this story whatsoever.
No, this is set in a sort of fantasy world, but it's only like it occurred to me quite early on. This is like, you remember that Will Smith movie Bright? Like this has vibes of that at times.
Oh yeah.
Here is a fantasy world, but it's modernized.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Good show.
That's not a good movie, but you know,
a shocking movie.
It's a terrible movie.
You know, it's any movies where Will Smith has a mustache is shit.
I can't think of another example of a mustached Will Smith movie.
Neither can I, but that one's shit. So I'm going with my theory. I'm going with my theory.
That's the reason. Like,
that's the reason.
Oh Jesus! Anyway, plot.
Yeah. Yes, it's a magical fantasy world that used to be filled with magic and wizards and all that kind of thing, and now it's kind of modernized and there's lots of companies, and you know, it's immediately very Pixar.
Yep.
And it's this theme of like technology taking over from nature and magic and all that stuff. And like Sean has his finger raised.
Yeah, sorry, I do that to sort of remember to say something. Like when you're talking, so just in case I forget.
Go for it.
It's there's a lot of Dungeons and Dragons references.
Yep.
So it's
There
kind
is.
of,
100%.
I think because the year it came out or the year it was being made was kind of the year that D&D really grew as well. Like a lot of
It
people
has
now
gone
play it.
through. Yeah, there's going through a massive resurgence recently. D&D, hasn't it? Yeah,
On
I've
that-
actually never played it.
On
but,
that note, I would like to shout out to my little D&D group. Just gonna to Owen, Kate, Joss, and Paul. Hi guys.
hello.
That's my D&D
hope-
group.
Cool. Thank you. Are you enjoying being our only listeners?
Yeah. I'll send this to them later.
Yes. Yes,
Sorry, I jumped in there. I had to mention it.
No, it's fine. We'll go for it. Yes, Ian and Barley, Fantasy World. They are brothers. They are elves, and Ian is like a kind of awkward teenage character. He's he's kind of early in high school, and he's not got much confidence. His brother Barley is extremely confident, and he is a massive sort of RPG nerd. Ian played by Tom Holland and Barley played by Chris Pratt, doing his best Jack Black in this movie.
Totally.
He's got that kind of whole rockin' dude thing going on that Jack Black always does, and
Totally.
and it's a lot of fun. And basically, at some point in the past, their dad has died of an unnamed illness, but there's definitely a kind of cancer vibe being suggested throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And they on it's his 16th birthday, I think.
16th
birthday. They are given a present from their dad, who left it with their mum, which is a magic wand or a staff.
It's a
Magical
God damn it.
staff.
Yeah, and instructions on how to bring him back to life for one day.
Yeah.
Which is when we discover that Ian is in fact a wizard, which he was not aware
Wizard
of.
Ian.
You're a wizard, Ian.
You're a wizard, Ian.
Jake's a what?
Jake's and Ian. And
You're an Ian.
yes, but the first attempt to bring it back was wrong. The sort of gemstone, I can't remember what it's called now. The gemstone.
Yeah, so
cracks.
the Phoenix Gem cracked,
Phoenix Gem.
and basically they have to go on a quest to find a new Phoenix Gem to try and get their dad back. So with the first time they attempt it, they only get up to the legs, and that's all they get. So for the whole story, they're just
Yes.
cutting about with
Some Daleks.
some legs. Yep.
Get it? Dalek? Oh my god, Daleks.
Daleks. Cutting about with some Daleks.
Yeah, which leads me to probably my favorite thing about this movie. You're right, Sean.
Too funny. Okay, go.
It's all right. Yeah, probably my favorite thing about this movie, which is kind of the physical comedy, which is a thing Pixar always does
Yeah.
really well. But in this, like the half person that just legs walking around with just a pair of trousers and shoes,
That's brilliant.
lends itself really well to like just like old fashioned animation. It's got vibes of like really old Disney like short cartoons and like the very kinetic movement and like it's the sort of thing I really like in animation, and Pixar do it really well, and this is a good opportunity for that. And there's a lot of great gags to do with that, like when Barley's really small and he taps on the dad's feet to let him know he's there, and the legs just like trip over the wand and just like fall
He just
over.
freaks out. Like, it's like, why is my son so small? What?
Yeah, that made me laugh a lot.
I also like the idea of, so they've obviously went through all this trouble trying to find the Phoenix Gem, and the Phoenix Gem has a curse on it, like at the end of the movie. So I just like the fact that like their dad was obviously a secret badass that nobody knew about. Because think about it, right? He knew he had, let's just say, cancer, right? Right, so he knew he had cancer, so he was like, right, okay, I'm not going to last here, so I need to do something. And then he went out, I can just imagine him going on an epic quest to get a Phoenix Gem, defeating his own dragon. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just doing all these things while being like terminally ill. Like, without anyone
badass
knowing.
that is.
Yeah, just think about that. Like, it's cool.
What a king.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. So yeah, that is the basic outline of the plot. And in very Pixar fashion, they are eventually successful, but with only a few minutes to go.
Yeah.
And Ian does not actually get to meet his dad, but realizes that his brother was a kind of surrogate dad for him all the time.
He grew up with him.
I really love the way they did Barley's character, because like,
it was so good.
The way they, obviously he's the one that's like mental about Dungeons and Dragons and all that, and about wizards and stuff. So they did a really good job at making him not jealous of his brother's abilities to be able to do it, and he can't. But they
so
made
proud
him
of
like
him.
so good at just being so supportive and like just being like he's just as like pumped that his brother can do it, even though he can't. Like, do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like,
So
which
proud of
is like really nice, instead of
definitely.
being jealous or anything like that, which is nice.
Like that could have been quite an annoying
trait.
plot element. If he was just like, why you got it, the entire
totally.
time. Which is, I feel like a lesser movie would have gone down that route.
Yeah. It takes away from Ian as like, it even takes away from that kind of ending arc where he like gives up his chance.
The more
that would take away from that so much.
Yeah.
Like on a third watching, for me, it's like you just see how like good the Barley character is, like throughout the whole thing. He doesn't do one thing at a place. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't do one thing at a place.
He's just clumsy, I guess. It's really But he's so lovable that he gets away with it. And I think I'm going to delve into the voice acting as well. Chris Pratt is so good at playing that type of character, where it's the sort of like bumbling idiot, but he's so lovable that it's okay, it's excusable.
Yeah, like because that's like I like Chris Pratt, but I think in some things he can be a little too Chris Pratt. You know?
I don't like him in the Jurassic World movies.
That's a perfect example, but like part of that might be that that's a less comedic part that he's doing, and that's really what he does. Comedy stuff. But then even Guardians, like he has dramatic moments he has to do in Guardians, and he does pull them off.
No, he does,
But I in general do like Chris Pratt. But I would agree this is one of his better performances. I think this is really good. Another
thing they bring across is like when obviously they kind of throughout the movie they're kind of insinuating, or other people like the cops and stuff are insinuating that Barley's a bit of a screw up and stuff like that. But I think what the actual case is that
Alec, are you frozen?
Oh, you're frozen.
No, we watched Onward, not Frozen.
Oh, no, you're back. You're back now.
Okay,
so like a lot of people around him insinuate that he's a screw up, including his own brother.
Yeah.
And then what I think you realise throughout the movie is that he's not a screw up. He's just like he's been more focused on like bringing his brother up, being a father figure and all that, than caring about what he does himself. He's always picking him up from school, taking him there. Like, do you know what I mean? He's just all his attentions on his brother rather than like try to do well for himself, I think.
Yeah. And actually what's quite cool is like looking back on it now, like they do the kind of overbearing parent trope a little bit at the start, but without you really realizing that because he's his brother and like
with the moving his stance when he's trying to do the magic and stuff.
Exactly, and like turning up and embarrassing him in front of the school. Friends. And,
it's Pixar's attention to detail that always surprises me when it comes to their films. It's so like like a magnifying glass on literally every single detail. Like even the clothing and stuff like that, and the animation and the texture work on the clothing, as well as like the lighting and stuff like that. It's so perfect that it's hyper realistic, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Even character work as well, like storylines we're talking about. I've already forgotten his name.
Who?
The older brother.
Barley or Ian?
Barley, yeah. Just the little details about him like looking after his brother while they were growing up as well. I thought that was really nice. We should probably talk about Ian for a bit as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, definitely. I think Barley is the more like, even though Ian is supposedly the main character, like Barley has the best story, if you know what I
Character
mean.
arc, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about both of them, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, no, I like Tom Holland in this as well. It's my second Tom Holland movie in 2 days. This a very different
Very
vibe from the
different.
devil all the time.
Totally.
But yeah, no, he's very good in this. He's good. He kind of like you were saying earlier, he does that kind of awkward teenager thing really well. Like it's quite like a Spider-Man in some ways, but no, he's very, very good in this.
He did a good job at making his voice higher as well, I noticed.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was maybe something in post, maybe, or but maybe it was just him acting. But
yeah,
his voice is definitely higher up.
Because it worked well because like Chris Barley's kind of telling him to speak from his heart's fire when he's doing the spells and like his heart's fire and like and you kind of convincingly get that Tom Holland couldn't do that. Like it kind of feels like that, which is quite nice. Let me go through some of my notes here. The dragon was cute, the little pet dragon thing.
So cute, man.
Yeah,
I need several.
Like the half second that dragon appeared on screen, Sean was just like, "Oh my god!"
I know. It did very much remind me of the dog in Coco when they go into the when they cross the side and it kind of turns into it can fly and stuff, and it kind of reminds me of that.
That's actually one thing I wanted to bring up. Actually, like this is one of 3 movies in the last few years that deal with, the afterlife, and
I'm worried about the writers at Pixar. Are they okay? Like, are they okay? Like,
it's all right.
It looks like they're going through some tough stuff if this is what they're writing about.
They've settled on a theme with some of their recent movies. Like between Coco, this, and Soul, they're really starting to, like Soul and Coco in particular, there's literally a version of the afterlife that you go into.
They're grasping at the big questions in life for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Which is, that's what they've always done, and they always kind of deal with these kind of adult themes. But they have sailed on a theme recently, and I'm not against it. But yeah, I just hope they don't get too similar with these kind of themes.
There's a great. This won't spoil anything for Sean, I don't think. But there's a great. So in Soul, how the count's off, and they say the count. The count hasn't been off for centuries, right? Mm-hmm. And a great theory is that the last time the count was off was their dad when they brought him back for the day.
Oh, okay. Like playing into the Pixar
theory.
Pixar theory. I thought you were going to say Jesus there.
No. But do you know what I mean? Okay. That's quite cool. That's quite cool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Cool. No, that would be cool. We should do a whole discussion on the Pixar theory at some point because
it's nuts, dude. I've got a
podcast all on its own.
I've got a page here. It's John Groney that came up with the Pixar theory, and on his website johngroney.com, it's all about the Pixar theory and how Onward fits into that. I've got that up here so I can have a wee look at some stuff.
The Pixar theory, for those who don't know, is the theory that all Pixar movies take place in the same universe and are connected in some way. And at first you kind of go like, okay, come on. But actually, once you read into it, there's some stuff in there that's like,
it's amazing.
Okay, I can see how that would work.
It totally works. It basically, so I think it starts with Brave.
Yes.
Minus the good dinosaur, which is like obviously like way before. And then
there's one if you have not seen.
Yeah, I've not seen that either. It's maybe good though. Maybe an episode there. So it starts with Brave, and then I think it ends up with Wall-E and the Axiom, and now how the humans come back to the Earth.
I think so.
It's kind of desolate and ridden of life.
There's a whole thing to do with Brave, like when she turns people into bears, like just like the kind of mixing of nature and magic kind of creates all of the weirder elements. Like in Pixar later, like through evolution, you end up with the talking toys and all that stuff.
The Monsters Inc. ties into it mentally. So I think with this one, the theory is that it's actually on another planet in the universe, because I think there is a scene with the one of the Axioms in it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
and maybe like the elves evolved from humans or something like that.
Yeah, totally. Yes.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory. Though. It's a deep dive when you go into it.
We'll definitely need to like dedicate a whole episode to that because I think that'd be a really interesting way to go.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun one actually. Yeah, we should do that.
So I'm looking up trivia as well for later.
Yeah, cool. Okay. What else have I got here? Early on, how the fuck does a centaur vehicle work?
Yeah, totally. It's just his ass is just like the whole thing. Like,
yeah, well, because he mentioned like I have a vehicle, I don't need to run, and I immediately for the next 3 minutes or so, I was like, how does that work? Like, what? Like that can't work. And then later on, they showed it, and he just basically squeezes into a car.
yeah, he just squeezes in a normal police car.
Yeah, which is a little strange, kind of like weird internal world logic of like why wouldn't there be in this universe, why wouldn't there be a centaur car? Like
it's just a normal car. I know.
which is interesting. What else have I got here? Yeah, just like lots of stuff. Like the thing I really appreciate about Pixar animation recently is just like incredibly photoreal environments and textures, and like people's skin and hair and things like that are like as real as animation can be, but with cartoon proportions.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And it's a mix that shouldn't work, but it totally works.
I know, they've really done that in the last decade, I'd say, is doing the photoreal thing, whereas they didn't really do that before.
Yeah.
But again, I was saying while we were watching the movie, like the first time I noticed that photoreal thing was in Toy Story 4. Where it was like the very first scene with like the water running down into the drain or something. I think it's is it with Bo Peep she gets lost or something?
I think
she gets given away.
That's showing you that scene, but it's like the way the water and the reflections, it looks like realer than real life. But then it's juxtaposed with like these toys, and they also look realer than what toys look. It's like really strange. But amazing, like phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, Soul is a perfect example. Like the real world sections of Soul, there's no fantastical characters in that. These are just meant to be real people. But
it's almost like looking at these things with like a macro lens, but that's just how you're looking at them.
Yeah,
it's like so high fidelity. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's a good mix. You got any notes, Sean?
No, we kind of touched on every point that I had already. Like the dragon's cute, the hyper realistic animation. I love Chris Pratt. Yeah. You mentioned this when we started watching. I said it had a very Monsters Inc. vibe about it.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. Yeah.
And I never realised that till you said it, but after you said it, I started noticing things. Like the lassie in the pawn shop, her character really reminded me of Randall.
Yeah.
Just the way she looked in her design.
Yeah. Yeah, and also a bit of Roz as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, mix between Roz and Randall.
Yeah.
Double R sensation.
Yeah. But just that like he like here is like a different world with its own kind of society and ways that it works, and and interestingly Dan Scanlon directed, the director of this, Dan Scanlon, also directed Monsters University. Which is a
movie that exists.
A movie that exists. That movie is only okay, but it's quite fun.
It's okay.
Yeah. No, it's not too bad.
I would prefer a Monsters Inc. 2. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just prequels for me. Prequels are always tough because it's always like, can we not just progress the story? Like we didn't. It's a backstory that was already kind of explained. To be honest, like in the first movie.
Yeah. Like we
Spend
didn't really
the budget
need
somewhere else, Stan.
We didn't really need Monsters University, but we got it.
We got it.
Yeah. That's kind of my feeling with it. Is like Monsters Inc. is actually my favorite Pixar movie. I love that movie, but like it's definitely a movie like that. That is a closed book of a movie. Like you get to
totally.
You don't need more. Like you could have more, but you don't need more. And I think basically what happened is they had the same problem, but they wanted to make another one, so they just instead went like, we'll do the prequel.
Quick question: what did you guys think of Incredibles 2?
I loved it.
I really liked it.
I really enjoyed it.
The only thing I didn't like was the design of the other superheroes. I thought they kind of looked really cartoony. It was a bit weird.
I kind of get
like
what you mean,
when they're on the boat, mind at the end, and it's like all the other superheroes they just the design of them just look. I don't know. It just didn't look like the Incredibles.
It didn't look right. Yeah.
It almost looked like something out of like Despicable Me or something. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It just didn't.
Yeah.
It looked a bit funny. But I did like the movie.
I don't disagree with that. Like Bob Odenkirk's character, Saul from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That character and his sister in that, I found their design a bit weird. It did feel quite DreamWorks in some ways, or Despicable Me, or like that.
Yeah.
Actually, very Despicable Me. Like
The best scene in that whole movie, just a wee tangent here, is the bit where they're in the restaurant and the daughter spits like her thing out all over the place. Me and Haley saw that in the cinemas, and it actually just caught me so off guard. It's like so funny.
The freeze frame face meme, it's just so funny.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, back to Onward.
Sorry,
Back to Onward.
Another tangent.
I have a note from early in the movie, which was, why are the legs so scary? Because something about that when they first appeared, I found that really unsettling.
Yeah, it's
just like, oh,
it's a bit ominous.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, they're doing this. Okay, this is where we're going.
Anyway,
keep on saying. Okay, I said to add to that, I wrote here just to, if you obviously listened to earlier on the podcast, I said I watched an Owen Wilson movie. I put, Dad's legs are better at acting than Owen Wilson's entire career.
I love that your entire dedication in this podcast is to rip Owen Wilson apart.
And I like Owen Wilson as well, but I mean,
in the same way that in the way that Sam Neill is our mascot, Owen Wilson is our
enemy.
Antichrist is the word that came to mind there. Antagonist, that's a better word. Yeah. Okay. And I quite like Owen Wilson as our Antichrist.
Yeah, there you go.
Owen Wilson is our Antichrist, specifically us.
I took a note. I always do this with Pixar movies. Like they're very good for like putting little Easter eggs and little background jokes.
I have
very
so
Simpsons
many
style actually.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And there's quite a few that I spotted that were particularly great. Quite a lot of kind of references to other things. Like there is a sign in Barley's van that just says "You shall not pass." Which is quite good.
I've got a good one for you.
Yes.
See the dad's socks? They are the exact same color and pattern as the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland.
Interesting.
Also
who could disappear at will. At
the tavern. They've got a sign saying "We serve second breakfast."
Yeah, I had that in my trivia notes.
There's quite a few Lord of the Rings references. My absolute favourite, though, at one point they stop somewhere and there is a frozen yogurt shop called Master Froyo, which is just brilliant.
I mean, that's where the Pixar theory started. Was just like people noticing all these different hints and Easter eggs and going like, "Hang on, does this all match up?" Like
the Pizza Planet trucks and things like that.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I found that it's under the bridge when they go across it. Not under the bridge, but in that scene with the troll bridge. It's there. Another reference that I noticed was the Centaur game, the machine was called Prance Revolution.
That's good.
They had some brilliant like medieval puns in this.
Oh, there's so many.
There was a total blink and you miss it one at one point when the dragon appears at the end. There was a vending machine for a sort of Mountain Dew drop off, but it was Mountain Doom.
Mountain Doom. Yes,
I never noticed that one. That's amazing.
It was great. It just caught my eye. It was on screen for like half a second. But yeah,
that's amazing.
There's also like a bunch of kind of silly ones like the police cars, instead of having to protect and serve on the side, they have serving the realm. And and then a bunch of like fake sort of fantasy band patches on Barley's jacket, which included, I wrote a lot of them down: Hades, Smote, Hydra, Druid Majesty, Quest Master, and Orc Blood.
Orc Blood. Yes.
Can we start a death metal band called Orc Blood?
I bet there's already one.
It probably is. Smote is good as well.
I've got a wee note here saying, "Where's Gilderoy Lockhart when you need him?" The Pixies scene.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's true.
The wee Cornish Pixies.
Pixies.
I liked the Pixie bikers. They were good fun.
Oh, they were brilliant.
The Pixie Dusters, I think they were called.
Pixie Dusters.
Yeah, they decided to call themselves that after they found out that they could fly. They just embraced it.
Fuck it. I've got a couple of trivia if you want. I've got a couple of interesting ones. When we were spotting references, I didn't notice this, but there is a Skyrim logo in the Guinevere 2.
Oh, what's that?
There's a Skyrim. It's what else have I got? Right, this is. I'm getting these off of IMDb, by the way. I never noticed this one. I might go back and look for it if. And this is bullshitting me. If you look in the Manticore's tavern, the cook is actually Remy the rat from Ratatouille, while other members of staff are wearing Sorcerer Mickey hats from Fantasia. There's also a Pixar ball in the background emblazoned on a shield, and the prize area includes toy frogs from Toy Story 4. There's a lot in that one bit of the tavern.
Yeah, there was a couple like that, and the sort of petrol station bit. Like there was a lot. I was kind of searching the screen for like lots of little references because there's a lot.
There's so many. The next one I've got is this is a brilliant reference. You know how the birthday song when they walk into the tavern? Mm-hmm. That is the exact same birthday song from Emperor's New Groove.
Is it?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. See, when I was listening to it, I was like, I really recognise where that tune. And then when I was reading through the IMDb trivia and it came up, I was like, I knew it. I recognised it. And I've got
Pizza Planet's also called Pizza Realm.
That's good.
This almost seems like, see if they did like a multiverse theory, it almost seems like an alternate universe. That could maybe be another theory as well.
The Pixar multiverse. Definitely. You heard it here first.
There was a good sort of fake swearing bit at one point that kind of caught us off guard a little bit. When the guy I referenced it earlier, the SHANTARS TALON, but they it's when the cops show up and the Ian goes to say it, but they really drag out the so it sounds like it's going somewhere else.
Yeah. Totally.
Which is good. I'd like some swearing in my kids' movies to get that kind of humor.
I like some adult language in my kids' movies.
Yeah.
I've got one more. It's actually because you guys have seen Soul and I haven't. There is an Easter egg for Soul in this movie. When the father's shirt is briefly shown, it is emblazoned with the Trinity knot symbol, which refers to the connection between the mind, body, and the soul.
Oh, okay. I would not have picked up on that. I would need to see Soul again.
I don't know. It came up and I thought, oh, you guys have seen Soul and I haven't yet.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd add that one in.
Soul would be a fun one to do.
It would be.
We should do that at some point. Yeah. Maybe not just yet because we just break up the Pixar movies a little bit. But we were talking a little bit about more about their animation stuff, but like the Pixar's hair animation.
Oh,
and how they kind of developed that from Sully and Monsters Inc. And like they kind of developed technology for that, which is now used by other animation studios. And,
I mean, that is millions of individually animated hairs together. Like that's literally how they do that. It's not just like it's not like a blanket that they just like thingy on. It's like
how long,
and it's like controlling the movement of everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's like which is probably the Manticore's hair is actually shorter, so it's probably easier. But for someone like Sully, who's like got really long hair that moves. Do you know what I mean?
And he's all hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
How long would that take to animate? Like just every single individual hair.
I know. The original Monsters Inc. totally holds up as well. That's why I think
it does.
I want to see Monsters Inc. 2. They could totally do it. They could find a way.
Petition. Start a petition here.
Yeah,
but it is crazy. Like because you're right. Monsters Inc. does totally hold up animation wise, but then you watch Monsters University. And despite that film's problems, it does look great. Yeah. And and just seeing the difference in Sully, like specifically that you can really see how far they've come just in that time. And that was a few years ago now as well.
It would be awesome if they did maybe like a remaster or something where they like use that technology on the original movie. How cool would that be?
I'd be interested to see what that would look like.
Has that ever been done with a movie?
I don't think it's. I've kind of thought of that a few times though, but it'd be really cool, like a re-release, but like using the new, like rendering it with the new, because they do it with games, don't they? So I don't. What?
Very commonly with games.
Why not then?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if we'll start seeing that at some point.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, especially with the older kind of Pixar movies. Like how awesome would it be? As amazing as Toy Story is, the first Toy Story, it is literally the first properly animated film. Like Do you know what I
Toy
mean?
Story was the first one.
So
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
full CG.
Full feature,
animation,
yeah. Like with all CGI.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as well as it holds up, it doesn't hold up as well as Monsters Inc. because it's literally the base level from what they did everything from. So, like,
Yeah, no,
how
exactly.
class would it be to see like Toy Story, like the original Toy Story, but like with the level of attention to detail as Toy Story 4?
Yeah, no, totally.
That would be
Do you know what I mean?
incredible. Yeah.
I
I'd
would
love
like to
that.
see that.
And I
I'd like
mean,
to see
surely it couldn't be as hard as like reanimating it again because they've already got like a solid base to
Well,
work
yeah,
off.
like if they still have the kind of wireframe animations and all that stuff, like I suppose, look. I mean, we don't know enough about animation to really
I'd
say.
love
but
to learn more. Though.
If there's any
Yeah.
animators watching, please let us know how it's done. We're very curious.
Like, let us know if that's even possible. Because I guess if Pixar still have those files somewhere,
Oh, they will.
it-
They-
it-
yeah,
these
they've got it
big
in
companies,
the
that's possible.
These
They'll keep it in
companies
the
will
vaults.
have it saved on drives and
Yeah,
Surely.
Yeah,
It's in the Disney vaults.
yeah, probably.
Well be.
I don't know. Good question. Yeah, because I guess like you look at like the Lion King remake and things like that. You could almost call that, but like it's a little different. But yeah, I know what you mean. Kind of just almost
like an exact,
re-render it.
yeah, like an
Yeah,
exact thing.
like
Not
just kind
remaking
of-
the movie, just rendering over the top of it, like making
Yeah,
it
yeah,
nicer.
I'm very curious if that's possible.
And
Yeah,
I think you wouldn't want to do that with like live action movies that are classics because it'd probably just ruin them. But like for something that's like meant to be a good animation anyway, then I wouldn't see why not.
The only example of that I can really think of is what George Lucas did with the Star Wars movies, where he kind of redid a lot of the CGI. And actually, talking about Star Trek earlier, the original series has some of the ship shots have been redone recently as well. But like,
Oh, cool.
but yeah, doing a whole movie would be quite interesting.
Yeah, like with Star Wars, with the the scene in Return of the Jedi when the lassie's chucked into the ring with that beast. What's it called again?
The Rancor.
The Rancor. That like the one that you see now, it's the same lassie, but it was shot like 20 years after.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they totally redid that whole scene, which is mental.
no
Which is
idea.
mental to think, but it's the same actress. Like,
Holy shit.
yeah, that's nuts. Yeah,
I would quite like to see them redo, like, again, I hope it's possible, because then you could do, because then you could take like animations from other films as well and then completely redo them. Like, I'm trying to think of some examples. Actually, the Star Wars is perfectly, you've just gave the perfect example actually with the Rancor.
Yeah.
And just like, re-render them and make them look better.
like put the just straight, even with that, like get the Mandalorian treatment on the original Star Wars, like oof, that'd be insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
There's like very interesting talking point on that whole thing of like re-rendering over other scenes. Does that mean that technically they'd never have to like fully remake a film ever again because they could just render over the top of it?
Well, I get there's a magic in live action to those old movies, though, so I don't know if that's the right thing, but I think definitely in just animation, like
Like a good example would be like even Jurassic Park, one of when the T-Rex is running towards the Jeep. That's CG, isn't it? If I'm
I think so.
So what if like they took that scene, just that one scene, and then every time a big update for like animation comes out, they go, right, cool, we'll just re-render it and then release it again.
See, for me,
it's kind of like ethical re-rendering, I guess you could call it.
For me, with Jurassic Park, just like put that in a vault and just leave it. It's perfect. But with Jurassic World, I want them to do the opposite. I want them to go, right, see this CG, get it launched in the bin, right, and just do the complete reverse of what we're talking about. I would prefer to watch dudes in costume, like as velociraptors, than fully rendered CG. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that. Like the you guys watch Corridor Crew? The VFX, really interesting channel on YouTube if you're interested. They are a group of visual effects artists, and they basically kind of break down, visual effects in movies. And
I might have seen it. I've seen a few videos of that, so it might have been them. I just can't mind.
Yeah, no, they're really good, and they kind of break down, like, they do a lot of interesting stuff and talk about behind the scenes stuff and things like that. And they talk about the difference between Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, and like looking at the Velociraptor specifically, and they're like, you know, like the Velociraptor, like the I can't remember. There's a named Velociraptor in Jurassic World. I can't remember what it is, and they have a shot of that on screen, and they're like, this is absolute cutting edge technology. Like, you can't fault what the VFX artists have done here. It's incredible. Like it's photoreal. It looks like it's there. So why does it look worse than the puppet in the original movie?
I know.
That is just genuinely good
You
question.
just can't beat the something actually being there, shot in the camera.
Yeah,
like with the actors there, and the actors actually reacting to be able to see something rather than a blue dot on a stick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The best example of that I could say is Fury Road, Mad Max. Like, that movie just looks so good, and it's like 95% practical effects. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, we know what it's like, right? We've shot the Jurassic Park kitchen scene. I know what it's like to hide behind a cupboard, look up and see Sean's face with a Velociraptor mask on. I mean, that is absolutely petrifying. So, I mean, speaking from first-hand experience here,
I thought I did a pretty good job as a Velociraptor.
I think they should hire Sean instead.
Maggie Smith, if you're looking for a stunt double.
Maggie Smith.
That was a reference to the first episode.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually,
look at me reference our own content.
I know, nice callback. If you'd like to see our interpretation of Jurassic Park, the kitchen scene, you can catch it in our music video for our single fighter flight, available now on all major streaming services and on YouTube.
I won an Oscar for best Velociraptor performance. So.
Yes, you did.
Not that there was any other ones that year.
That's got to be the nichest thing ever.
I know, but I'm having it.
You've stolen it from Andy Serkis. He gets it every year.
So do you get best supporting Velociraptor as well? Is that something?
Fuck you, Andy. Best supporting Velociraptor. I suppose
oh man. Right.
And on that bombshell.
Yes, I think I'm out of notes, other than I had one last one, which is the mum's shadow of the Colossus as the dragon at the end.
Fuck yeah, so she does.
Yeah. She has it. The mum has a great the mum's arc all the way through it is just badass all the way through. Totally. Right at the start of the movie, one of the first scenes is her doing like the warrior thing of like I am a mighty warrior. I am a mighty warrior. And then just all the way through it, she's just like a total badass. Like she does. Totally. She does more to defeat the dragon than the Manticore.
And the main characters.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, she drives the Manticore to the pawn shop, right? And like gets the sword, then the Manticore flies because she has to, and then she's the one that like stabs it first in the heart. So
what a wee queen she is.
Absolute queen. Yeah, that's all I've got. You guys got any last thoughts on Onward?
No.
I think all we should leave it with is scoring it out of 10. And
yes,
then
I was going to get to that.
Then we can, unless you've got any other notes.
No, don't think so.
No. I'm good.
Cool.
Onward then.
Right. Onward. Alec, you go first, seeing as you're the one that knows this movie the best.
Oh, compared to other picks, that I'm kind of same with with how we said before, how with Scrooged it was kind of rating it against other Christmas movies. With this one, I'm kind of doing it against other Pixar movies, if that makes sense. So I do love this movie. I'd probably 7.3.
7.3. Interesting. Okay,
that's it.
Very, very specific.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Sean, what about you?
See, I'm kind of in the same vein. If we're rating it against other Pixar films, I put it not at the top of the board, but kind of like middle top. So probably about a 7 for me as well.
Yeah. I think if I was rating this against other movies, I'd give it an 8.
Oh yeah, it
just as a movie.
rating,
yeah. But if I'm thinking the bigger picture with the other Pixar movies that I've seen, I'd probably give it a solid 7.3.
A solid 7.3.
Solid as fuck.
Absolute rock solid there.
Well, okay, let me change that. A moist 7.3.
Enjoy that one.
A soggy 7.3.
A soggy 7.
Oh god.
Aye. We soggy 7. What about you, Jake?
Yeah, I'm probably sitting around a 7. Which I don't think is a bad rating at all. A lot of people kind of see a lot of people say anything below like an 8 as a bad score.
No.
It's absolutely not. A 7 is a really good score.
It's above average.
That's three away from 10. Like,
I mean, yeah, exactly.
More than halfway to 10.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even think 5's that bad a score. If I'm honest.
I mean, let's face it.
5, 6 is a good score.
There are way worse Pixar films than this.
God, yeah.
Let's face it.
God, yeah.
Let's
Cars
not.
3.
I know we've been making it Pixar be this godly force, which they are, but they are known for making some bad movies also.
Cars
I mean,
3.
Their track record is better than most. But
Yeah.
It's a good track record.
I definitely say they have been absolutely. It's definitely a golden age right now. In the last wee while, 5 years or so, even more.
There
than
was
that.
a run they had in the late 2000s of like I
you talking
can't
about-
remember which order they came in, but there was Wall-E, Up, and Toy Story 3 like back to back, and it was just like they can do no wrong. Like,
Yeah, I think honestly,
Renaissance.
I think they're kind of back
Yeah.
to. I think they're back to being top notch, coming up with original stories. Because I mean, think about it. Coco, Inside Out is I love Inside Out. Like that's one of
I
my
love
favorite
that movie.
Pixar movies.
yeah, I'm not a huge Inside Out fan if I'm honest, but like
How many times have you seen it?
Twice, I think.
Okay.
Maybe 3 times. I think twice.
I just really like the ideas behind it and like how like like I think it's helped a lot of people that, like with issues and stuff as well. I've heard people using ideas and Inside Out for therapy and things like that, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it creatively. I don't know, something about it just didn't quite work for me. But no, maybe I need to watch it again.
Have you seen Inside Out, Sean?
Yes, I loved it. I heard the same
Bing
thing
Bong,
as you.
man. I watched it not long ago. Bing Bong, that made me great, man.
I heard the same thing as you. Like they were using a lot of the kind of ideas and stuff like that. Whoops, and I had a couple like the ideas for therapy and stuff like that. And I thought that was beautiful. I watched it, but like knowing that, and I was like, I get it. This movie.
It kind of takes you by surprise as well because, like, it kind of like the animation in it is again spectacular, but it is aimed more for kids, just the way the animation is done. But then you watch it and you're like, this is actually like, this is deep. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
absolutely.
Which is cool.
that is a phenomenally good story.
Yeah, I do like it. I'd give it another watch, definitely.
Yeah, and I really like Amy Poehler, who plays the main.
Yeah,
She's called Joy, I think.
Yeah,
Joy.
Yeah.
Right then.
Right. That is around about a 7 all around for Pixar's Onward, which is a good score for me. That is a recommendation. Yes. I hope you all enjoyed Onward. If you have watched it, if you've not watched it, why are you listening to this? What are you doing with your life?
How are you still here?
What do you do? Like, why would you spend over an hour listening to this if you haven't watched the movie? That's just very strange of you. But yes, if you have enjoyed it, please do get in touch. You can through our Facebook page, which is Salt River Pictures, which is the name of our production company. This podcast is a production of Salt River Pictures, as you've heard at the beginning and the end of this podcast. And you can also get in touch by email, which is saltrivermovieclub@gmail.com. There will be an Instagram. There will absolutely be an Instagram.
Did the person message you back?
No.
Right. I
I
say let's just make a Salt River Movie Club Insta.
That is my plan. Yeah. Yes, I was considering like Salt River _pictures or something like that. But
we could do that.
We could. It just I don't know. We'll talk about this off mic. But yes, like there will be an Instagram. Try Salt River Movie Club. It might be there by the time you.
We'll let you know
this.
in the next episode.
Right.
Anyways,
We'll have
we
it
have
on the next one.
we have some fun things in store, which may mean there may be more than 2 episodes a month. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, which leads us on to our next episode, which we are starting a rotation. Our plan from now on is to rotate between the three of us. Each of us brings a movie for the others to watch.
Yeah.
And we're starting because I kind of picked Scrooged. Alec kind of picked Hereditary and Onward.
Yeah.
Again, it just accidentally worked out that way.
Yeah.
We're starting with Jonathan Kilner.
Yeah.
Hi.
What is your... We already know, but what is your movie you brought us?
So, we're going to be watching a movie from the good old year of 2006, and that is Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Alert. Alert. Incoming message from Future Editing Jake. Hello, this is Future Editing Jake here. You have just heard Sean tell you that the next movie that we'll be watching on the podcast in 2 weeks' time is the movie Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. However, we have run into a problem. We were planning to watch this movie by renting it on Amazon Prime, and we were going to rent it and watch it together for the pod. However, the night before recording that episode, we have run into a problem. We were under the impression that we would be able to rent this movie in the UK. However, we've discovered that it is in fact only available on US Amazon Prime. And we cannot see a different way of renting this movie or watching this movie on a streaming service in the UK. And yes, Amazon Prime has the movie region locked, which I was not even aware was a thing that Amazon Prime did. So yes, unfortunately, we will not be able to watch that movie. We are going to do that movie at some point down the line, probably later on when we can be in the same room together. Oh yes, wouldn't that be lovely? So we will not be watching Tenacious D. However, we've decided to just... Luckily, the episode you're listening to just now had not been released by the time we came to recording the Tenacious D episode, so I'm able to record this message for you to update you on what movie we'll be watching. So, we are sticking with Sean. It is still his choice. It is still his turn in the rotation. So we got him to pick a different movie, and for better or for worse, he has chosen the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie from the 90s, the American one, which we have all seen, and we all are defenders of, despite the prevailing opinion of that movie. But, you know, this might be one of those situations where we see it and immediately regret our decision. But we shall see. So yes, we are watching Godzilla. It is available on Netflix. That is how we're watching it, assuming it hasn't vanished by the time you are listening to this. So yes, please try and please try and watch Godzilla sometime in the next 2 weeks before the episode comes out. Apart from anything else, it's a lot of fun. It's super silly and a lot of fun. So yes, that is the movie for next time. You will hear us mention Tenacious D a couple more times in the outro for this episode, but that is not the movie we were watching. It is Godzilla. While I have you, I just wanted to quickly mention that I mentioned we will be getting an Instagram, and now we have an Instagram now. We have gone with @SaltRiverPictures Official. You can follow us there. We're going to be keeping you updated on all podcasts that we're doing in the future and more information on them. We're going to try and up our social media game a little bit for this. Any music video projects we're working on, any short films, which is a plan eventually. And also just, general movie chat. Like whenever we're watching a movie, we'll post a little thing about it. And so follow us there. It's going to be a good geeky movie time. So yes, that is me. This is Future Editing Jake signing off. Please watch the Godzilla movie. And yes, we'll see you next time. Handing me back to past recording Jake. Goodbye. Should we talk about the other thing?
I think
let's go for it.
It's,
Might as well.
The TV thing.
It's solidified.
So-
we might as well.
So it's not a definite when this is coming, but we are also going to be starting a TV show as a kind of extra episode, because at the moment we have movies coming out every 2 weeks, movie episodes coming out every 2 weeks. This is not going to be a constant thing, but we would like to also kind of run a TV show sometimes as well. And we are thinking we're going to do The Mandalorian. We're going to finally force Sean to watch The Mandalorian.
This is the thing. Sean's a massive Star Wars fan, same as us, but he just doesn't take to TV the same that me and Jake do. So
No.
we're going to force him down, strap him down, make him watch it.
Oh no.
Yes. So when they come out, they will come out on the Monday between movie episodes. They probably won't be coming immediately, but they will be coming at some point soon. We will be recording them at some point very soon.
Aye.
And we will be doing it in arcs, basically, because Mandalorian is kind of split into little arcs. Like, not officially, but there is kind of natural stopping points.
I think most TV shows have some sort of arcs where you can...
Yeah. So we'll be doing that. So the first episode of that will be the first 3 episodes of Mandalorian. So if you have no more of The Mandalorian and you would like to keep up, watch the first 3 episodes at some point in the next few weeks.
Definitely.
I've just got an email. My mic arm has just arrived.
Way! Well, that is an absolute fantastic end to the episode. We started.
Man, that's so funny.
Jake, would you like to end this episode with a little haiku made up on the spot about your mic arm arriving? Come on, you've got to send us off.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, you can like us, follow us, on subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen
go
to
find
podcasts.
us.
Give us 5-star reviews. It helps us more than you would think.
Yep.
Go follow us and everything.
Yep. We are in a band called Salt River Shakedown. Go check out our music on Spotify and all that jazz.
And we love you.
We love you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Overrunning slightly. Okay, I had a movie quote prepared for the ending, but they're demanding that I improvise a haiku.
Yes.
So about my. Okay. So, you are here, Mike Arm, ordered from Amazon Prime. You are home to me. That's 5. There you go. Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Good night.
Goodbye. Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Hello there.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Stay on target.
This podcast is brought to you by Salt River Pictures.